Soldiers made appearance on national television in Gabon to declare that they have taken control of the government. This comes in response to the election of President Ali Bongo for a third term in office. The election results, which were criticized as fraudulent by the opposition, were reportedly annulled by the soldiers who identified themselves as part of the Committee of Transition and Restoration of Institutions, CTRI. They said that their decision was aimed at ensuring peace and ending the current regime due to its irresponsible governance that was leading to societal divisions and the potential for chaos. President Bongo had been declared the winner of the election by the Gabonese Election Center, CGE, with 64.27% of the votes, while his main rival, Albert Ossa, came in second with 30.77%, figures which were disputed by the opposition. Since the media appearance by the mutinous soldiers, President Ondimba has sent out a video calling on friends of Gabon from all over the world to speak out against the coup.
Ondimba, President of Gabon, and I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, For the people here have arrested me and my family. My son is somewhere, my wife is in another place, and I'm at the residence. Right now, I'm in the residence and nothing is happening. I don't know what's going on. So I'm calling you to make noise, really. I'm thanking you. Thank you.
And back in Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu is closely watching the unfolding events in Gabon and is deeply concerned for the country's social political stability and the autocratic tendencies which seem to be spreading across different regions of Africa. Special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, said on Wednesday that President Tinubu still firmly believes that power belongs to the Africa's great people and not in the barrel of a loaded gun. He explained that the president had made significant personal sacrifices to advance and defend democracy and was therefore resolute that the constitutional government must not be endangered in the continent. He said to this end, the president is working very closely with other heads of states in the African Union towards a comprehensive consensus on the next steps forward in Gabon. The president's spokesman said the Nigerian leader was also keen to see how the continent will respond to the contagious autocracy spreading across the continent.
The people of Africa living in the diaspora around the world, making a huge impact to the socio-political landscapes of countries around the world and the economies of countries around the world, continue to urge on the global community to advance the cause of democracy on the continent for the sake of the economic prosperity of all Africans. So it is of frontline importance to understand that His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will continue to engage with heads of state, not just within the African Union, but also around the world. And those communications and engagements are ongoing.
Tonight on the program, we are joined by Showunmi, the governorship aspirant of People's Democratic Party in Ogun State in the 2023 elections, who also served as spokesperson for the presidential candidate of the party, Atiku Abubakar. He will be sharing his perspectives on the activities of the current administration, issues ahead of the presidential election petitions tribunal judgment, and also happenings in his home state of Ogun. Welcome to the program.
It's nice to be here.
We're happy having you in this.
Thank you.
I will take a short break. When we return, conversation commences. Don't go away. Welcome back, Mr. Segun. You've seen what happened in Gabon. Is it surprising to you?
You know, my dear friend, it is not. A few weeks ago, I was invited to Washington, to the Congress, to discuss this type of issues. And I had, as if one was clairvoyant, I had said to them in Washington that we are beginning to see a pushback against democracy in Africa, especially the ECOWAS sub-region. And I was proposing that we needed to figure out how to grow democracy organically so that our people can then be the defenders of whatever it is that we call the democratic culture. In the last 2 years, Sudan, Chad, Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and this year, you've gotten Niger, and just a couple of days ago, you have Gabon. That tells you that if you look at the map of Africa and you put this country and you look at where Nigeria is, you will see that almost all our top flank is gone, and I pray it doesn't continue. Our southern flank is now also
descending.
Going. Now, what we should be curious about is why.
Yes, why?
Why is it that Africans, and in all of these places, whether it's simulation, whether it's procured, you see people trooping out, welcoming them and being happy. And you can notice that in Niger, even when ECOWAS wanted to come in rather strongly with their rhetorics and even sanctions and all that, we've seen that it's actually pitting the citizens of those countries, in fact, against people of Nigerian extraction that they have related with for centuries, even before artificially created life. So what we are seeing is that our people, especially the Francophone ones, seem to have developed a new nationalism that is querying why should things be this way. And they are indirectly holding their democratically elected leaders responsible for the present status quo. And unfortunately, they think that their former colonial master, France, is culpable and they just want out. Now, the challenge for ECOWAS is when they use strong rhetoric against Niger, are they going to do the same now
with Gabon?
Against Gabon? And how many other of such would they need to deal with? So I think that we have to accept.
And I think maybe they're heading towards that, because even though Gabon is in Central Africa, right? Tinubu is now saying he's now discussing with African Union, meaning taking it to a higher plank.
To his credit, his immediate response on this one is far better than the spontaneous response and the rhetorics that came immediately after that. He couldn't have not said anything.
Maybe he noticed the backlash.
I want to believe that you get better on the job. It was very new and it was quite sudden. Okay, we can forgive him for that. We will tell ourselves that, we must tell us, African leaders, world leaders, America, United States, everybody must tell themselves that there are no quick fixes to this challenge we're seeing. Because if there were quick fixes, no country, no set of young soldiers should see what Niger is going through and still be motivated to do a copycat kind of thing in Gabon. And those who know will tell you, there is always a tendency that a copycat crime, albeit this time around is coups, may also be in the horizon. So we need to now, bringing it home, we need to now begin to manage rhetorics, manage propaganda, manage disinformation, manage misinformation, so that we don't provide a fuel for this type of thing. Because the only bullet you will not see is the one that will kill you.
Where are we getting it right in Africa? Between 1950 and now, 214 attempted coups, about 106 a success. In Gabon, for instance, this same Bongo family, 55 years. You know, his father almost 42 years, and now he has put in 14 years. You've seen his clip. He doesn't look healthy. Where are our democratic leaders getting it wrong?
We have looked at the Anglophone, the English-speaking part of West Africa.
Yes.
And we have looked at the Francophone part of it. And it has been a miracle to explain how the citizens, who are also our brothers, because Africans are really the same, different language, it's been a miracle to explain how they were able to tolerate and endure this long-term hold on power by families and all that. And now, what people are not seeing is that the advent of social media, the advent of internet, the advent of cable TV, the ease at which you can sit in Daura and see what's going on in America and vice versa anywhere else in the world has started making our people to demand that same or similar quality of life elsewhere. So where the people will be happy to just get a bit of a handout and clap for a strong man in the environment, they are now able to look at their colleagues in other countries, look at the street, look at the infrastructure, not knowing how long it takes to get those countries to be that way. Africans are now, young people are in a hurry, and they have a right to be.
Because they know that we have the resources.
We have created a culture, and this is where the crux of the matter is. We have created a culture that suggests that the mass of the people in a democracy will be clappers and cheerers and dancers to a small elite group that is holding power and even almost translating power into their children. So we can't expect African children and African soldiers and all of those people to accept that. And then made worse is I'm picking my words carefully, the perception of the integrity of the election process. It is not enough for countries to say they are doing elections and they're in democracy. The bigger burden for countries now is to show and demonstrate beyond any reasonable doubt that the process was free, the process was fair, the process was credible. You cannot continue to win against popular sentiment. I've not said that you did anything wrong. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, if you are going for an election, your role as one of the contestants is the same as the other contestant. And we have created a culture now in Africa, especially even our country as a case study, where a man who wins an election is even a victim of winning. Because people are saying, just because he won, it was rigged, they didn't this, he didn't do, he did something. And he may not have done anything wrong, other than play the game according to his best hand of winning. Now, the man who lost, or who's adjusted to have lost, is also a victim. Because he now has to deal with, did I win? Did they rig me? I have to go through all the pain, look for evidence, run to court, start having, and all of that. It's not healthy for any of us. It's not healthy for the winner. It's not even healthy for the people that came short. So what we must try to do, if we want to keep democracy, we must try to bring the perception of our processes and our procedure, the integrity of it to be so high, such that we will begin to enjoy more believability now, that the outcome is the outcome.
This scenario you are
painting.
Painting appears the same with the scenario, in Nigeria. Is that correct?
It is the same. Look, I try to tell top experts in some of the top countries of the democracy of the world. I try to tell them that stop seeing the Africans from the mode of country. Stop thinking that, oh, there's a black man in Guinea, is different from a black man in Nigeria. No, you better start seeing us as partners in the world community so that you will understand that anything that a Nigerian would like, possibly a Cameroonian would like it, possibly a Nigerian would like it, possibly a Benin Republic would like it. I'm using the countries that are near us, who are contiguous around. So if you see that, then you will realize that as a block of black people, both at home in the diaspora, we also have a right to want to be on this planet and have a good time here, just like your people are doing. Okay. And I want them that the activities of their governments and the type of arrangements they do in what they consider to be partnership now needs to change a little bit, slightly. Not just partnership with the government, they can keep that, but they must deliberately look for things that can make them partners with the citizens and the people of that country, so that that ideology and that philosophy can then, you know, enjoy better acceptability. Otherwise, for every time an African leader does not do, or people they're not happy, the knock-on effect is to blame whichever foreign power is closely related to that country. And now France is getting blamed maybe for things that France has done, and maybe for things that France has nothing to do about.
Finally, in less than a minute, what call do you have for the giant of Africa now?
Nigeria?
Yes.
Well, Nigerians and the people that are who may be thinking in this direction, please note, Nigeria has had a history of coups in the past. So we don't need to be sensational and be thinking that it makes sense. What we need to know in Nigeria is that our processes must keep improving in the democratic direction. Why? Because if you put a governor or a president like we have done now, at least you have a date in 4 years' time when you will be called upon to come and take another decision on him. And if you will use your franchise well, and if the leaders of your societies will help you take the decision and pay attention to what is important, then you already have the ability to change that. But if you run yourself into an arrangement like the areas where they have all of those things, coups now, if you're happy today and become satisfied with them tomorrow, at what point in time would you tell them to go? Then to tell them to go, you may then have to be instigating another set of soldiers to do another. No.
All right.
We've gone past that. Nigeria must stay on the democratic course.
All right.
And democracy must now begin to answer tangibly to our people.
All right. Back home. Just recently, you claimed that President Tinubu is treating Nigerians as war prisoners. Is that correct? How do you mean?
Well, I didn't use the word war prisoners like that. I said at that time what I was trying to speak to was that some of his policies, the early days policies, the policies he was running, he was doing it in such a way as though he is unfeeling and unsympathetic to the mass of the people.
As if he was operating from a different planet?
No. In fact, I felt that he was operating in what some people say, iskanchi.
Okay, with disdain.
Yeah, with like, I've done it. And
do whatever you can.
No, assuming that they cannot do anything within the stability of what a democratic government is.
So he appears to be autocratic of sorts?
No. I wasn't going to use such a word like autocratic. I was going to use, and I was trying to say that it's not enough for your policy makers to speak English and be giving you the idea that the people that will be bearing the burden of policy don't matter. And that essentially, whatever you are calling policy, the critical component of that policy must be how does it impact the poor. Because if you can do a policy that will work for the poor, the rich can find their way. But if you do a policy that hurts the poor, where would they run to?
They are hopeless already.
Where would they run to? That was why I said hopelessness with nothing assured at that time. But, they didn't have a cabinet then. I'm not a critical person, just criticizing every day.
You can change position.
No. I can assess and analyze position. He has now coupled together a cabinet. Realistically, one must say, let us see how they're going to hit the ground running. Because I know Someone's desk responsibility is poverty. Someone's desk responsibility is economy. Someone's desk responsibility is transport. Someone's desk responsibility is Abuja. So all of these 48 men, which I think is a bit too large.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah.
All of this.
Because you also said he has an overbloated cabinet amid lean economic resources, which demonstrates incompetence. Is that correct?
I own it completely that. What I was trying to say is that you have come to us to say we don't have money, we can't even do subsidy or whatever it is, for reasons that we all know.
Yeah.
And you have removed it with inflation and price and all of that, and the exchange rate and all of what have you. And you have accepted that there is a challenge in the country. What will be your excuse for a big cabinet? If the law says one per state and FCT, and you are trying to scale back, you should even be thinking of how to even change that law so that you don't even have to have so many. Why would you now, at this particular time, be doing that? And I was talking from the mood of the country where I watched the senators in ESCO or chamber joking about while they were trying to do the serious business of clearing would-be senators.
So you're making reference to Senate President's remark that let the poor be rich.
I'm making reference to a whole lot more.
And then sending prayers to the emails of this.
No. You see, leaders are the brand ambassadors of countries. And your people cannot be crying. If you go to the far corners of our country, not just the north, even the east and the southwest, the far corners, the rural area, you're going to see that, wow, there is trouble. Then the people who are going to come and say, to come and solve that problem, cannot be gesticulating, laughing, doing banters, playing with figures, talking about creating a palliative of 500 billion, using figures to say how much they're going to get. This is not the time for that type of thing. It will anger anybody.
You see that just rhetoric?
No, not just that. I consider it reckless.
Wow.
And indecorous and unfeeling. Because I expected them to always know that we're dealing with a situation here, and therefore even their own their behavior, their mood and all that will be in tandem with the country. If they spent every day just empathizing and say, oh, no, we can't do it like this, this is not the right time, we have to cut this. The kinds of optics that tells the citizens that our leaders are not living large while we are in penury. And I wanted them to get that message so that maybe they could adjust. And if they do adjust and focus on the work, I expect that it's not, they can, honestly, I don't believe that any leader wishes to fumble. But I believe that one of the reasons why we are not getting the type of country we all say we want is because almost everybody in the country, bar a few of us, are now playing the ostrich, which is everybody can see what is wrong, but everybody pretends that they cannot see.
It is just 3 months now, but it's like the kind of pushback is enormous. I saw somewhere when you said there is massive poverty of ideas, and that is why the government is being trailed by inconsistencies in policies. Can you shed light on this?
Let me just give you two that will make the point.
Yes.
It's either you have money or you don't have money.
Yeah.
It's either you're trying to create new money or you're not.
Yes.
You cannot, in all honesty, say your challenge is how to create money for the country, and at the same time saying your idea of doing that is to start sending 5 billion to governors wholesale and expect that it will get to the people. First, nobody in the world does intervention to the poor wholesale. They do it retail. Secondly, we have a culture of corruption in this country that there is no point pretending as if you don't know who these fellows are. So I use the similitude of you are carrying the fish.
Yes.
You are giving it to the cat, which are the governors. You are sending the governors with the fish to the rats, which are the people. And you are pretending as if you don't know that the rat can dare not go and ask the cat, where is the fish? When you know that the cat itself likes to guzzle fish. And so I was saying that I would have expected that, one, the social investment or social diary or what they call that, their data that they are using to give money
social
to
register.
Thank you, skip my this. I would have expected that it doesn't matter those who compile that social register. I would have expected that you are going to first of all clean up the integrity of that social register.
Because they disown it, the governors immediately after inauguration during the National Economic Council meeting, they disowned it.
From the same party will not have allowed these people that way, because by disowning it, they wanted to be given the palliative or the money wholesale. If they had said it was not good, you could have used the instrumentality of BVN to check whether real people own. Maybe you weed out excess, just the same way you do when you take the civil service and you tell them you are doing audits to know whether they are ghost workers or not.
So is it a booby trap by the governors when during the National Economic Council meeting they disowned the Buhari register, social register, and you think maybe this was what motivated Tinubu to now give them this 5 billion?
No, because if you disown the social register and his policy people agrees with them,
more or less they have agreed with it.
Obviously, because they agreed with them, then the challenge was now you guys are the ones that will now go and distill and share whatever we want to do as succor. Now, the other part of it that I was saying was a mismatch of policies, that we did not create the problem of Naira chasing dollar because of only legitimate spendings or needs.
Okay.
We created in this country the challenge of our Naira chasing dollar in such a crazy way because those who will get monies that are bulky will prefer to find clever ways to take it back into the black market or prime money market or fair FX market so they can put out as much of the Naira from their hand and take back the dollars, which will be easy to convert and easy to keep, thereby adding more pressure to Naira. That's the first one. The second one is that the inflationary capability of bulk money all over the place. Look, my brother, if we were from the moon, we could have pretended as if we don't know our country.
Yeah.
But we're not from the moon. So we know our country. I've always insisted, and I'm still insisting, the only part of the Nigerian government system that works really are mainly two.
Okay, which and which?
The executive in the presidency and the judiciary. And I know all eyes are on them, but that's not the point. The point I'm making is that, you see, you will see the intention of the presidency, trying to do education for the state, trying to do infrastructure, trying to do rural...
doing the concurrent...
You will see them doing...
Apart from doing the exclusive.
You will see them doing all of that. And if you go around your state, you would even see some signposts of some of these things. And then you'll be wondering, what exactly do the governors consider to be their responsibility? So I felt that no. The most endangered species are the governors.
Okay.
Because of that. And then I also felt that, okay, the judiciary were badging the courts with cases every day. So whether they like it or not, they have to be busy. But I felt that governors who are the subnational, at the middle level, who are not even reasonable enough to understand that until you can allow local government to run according to how the government at the national gives them resources, you will not even grow the base of the economy.
You vied for governorship in Ogun.
Yeah.
Assuming you won.
Oh.
And you met with the president, and then he agrees to now share this 5 billion. Will you object?
I would have told him, Mr. President, nobody does intervention to the poor wholesale.
You will tell him?
Am I not telling him
You're
now?
on camera,
Yeah, am I not telling him now? I told him. You see, I talk not because I want applause. And neither do I talk because I want to abuse. I talk out of a groaning pain that we cannot carry all the human resources that all of us have pulled together in the country and be acting confused all the time. So what I was saying to him is that you can't do intervention to the poor wholesale. Because when you do it wholesale, a rent keeper is going to gather it once. And once he gets to his table once, he can then do what you want. Imagine if we had done, using our money banks, using our, all this, that, all of those people to give the person the money Do you know the amount of effort it will take a governor to call back all the money that has gone to them individually before he will now say he's taking it to the black market to buy dollar?
So you are saying that they got it wrong altogether, but the president and the governor?
No, I'm saying that the president, yielded to what I know he knows in his, what I know he knows deeply is not the right way to go. But when they come and start doing it's okay, give them something to go and give the people. Definitely, he's training his accountants from what we hear. They tell us he's been in mobile as an control accounts and all of that. He knows this more than me, that you cannot do palliative to the poor wholesale. It's going to get lost.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Shogun. We'll go on a break.
Okay.
Viewers, don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you are just joining, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. I still have with me in the studio Segun Showunmi, honorary aspirant of PDP in Ogun State and spokesperson for the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. Welcome back.
Thank you.
To the program. Now, what can Tinubu do to take Nigeria out of the doldrums? Because it is now 3 months, subsidy is gone, people are crying, many families cannot eat even once a day now in Nigeria.
Okay. When we were doing this campaign,
yes,
most people never bothered to ask me that, oh, Segun, you're a Yoruba man like Bola Tinubu. Why were you with Atiku, a northerner?
You now have the opportunity to answer.
No, yeah, is it that you don't think that not all these things are saying?
Yeah.
I'll answer it now. Maybe Atiku doesn't even know.
Okay.
The reason why I was with him is that...
not with Tinubu.
Not with Bola.
Or Peter Obi or any other
First
candidate.
of all, I'm not in their party. That's
yes,
one reason.
You are from PDP.
PDP.
But you will have already defected. Many people defected out of the election.
I've never done that since 1998 that we've been in this party. I've never...
You've been in PDP.
Never one day left this party. Not because they've treated me...
Don't you feel cheated?
I do feel, but let me just go to this
all
question.
Right. Okay.
You see, what I saw is that the situation of the northern Nigeria, as a result of Muhammadu Buhari, President Buhari's 8-year rule, has done so much damage there in terms of the poverty indicators, the insecurity, all the infighting, all of that crisis.
The banditry,
the whole lot, all the nonsense they are doing around the
decimation of the farmland.
Everything that was wrong there. And I thought that, okay, anybody that wants to fix it must be someone that can look the North straight in their eyes and tell them this is the new way to go in the North, and the people of the North must have the assurance that it's not victimizing them. So I then felt that if he's the president now, okay, fine, we'll see how it goes in court. I felt that the kinds of reform he will need to do to rescue the North, if he were to try to do it, then conveniently they will say it's because it's not from them. Number one. Number two, I felt that the 25 years of democracy, you can map where the internally generated revenue of the countries have grown. And you will see that the internally generated revenue of the country for the states and all of that have grown very much in the southern side. So I didn't think that beyond tribalism, I didn't think that there was any real evidence that the southern part to say, oh, we've not been treated well. I felt that the place we needed to fix was the North. And I knew that somebody who is...
You try to be a true Nigerian.
I am a true Nigerian. I knew
and
that.
Don't you feel that back southwest, you see you as a traitor of sort?
No, I don't. If there are leaders there, then that means that their leaders want me to open up on the things that I have done so far for their own causes when they needed that type of...
I think you should do that now.
No, not today.
Okay.
When they needed that kind of support.
Okay.
You see, my view about the country, Nigeria, is our country, Nigeria, is that I do not accept that somebody should stay in the southeast and be decimating them like that, and that there shouldn't be a reverse process that can give the mass of the people of that area a bigger sense of the belonging in the country. That was why I said you can't give others 10 and give them 5. Because I know that if you had given them maybe 7 like you gave the others, at least they would, you know, for the optics, they wouldn't feel that the ceiling, the glass ceiling against them. I'm not from the Igbo land.
Yeah.
And I felt that knowing how the country was, knowing all the issues and all of that, the amount of, we're fighting Boko Haram today, we're fighting that, and it's not going away, I felt that it was going to be a very bad deal for the North when they begin to do economic reform according to how they know, and then at the end of the day, there will be excruciating poverty in the rural North. If I ask you, you are from there.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went into the rural fringes of the North?
I'm actually from Daura, yeah.
I know. Are you not even afraid that how did our people reduce to this? I saw a video in Gashua.
Yeah.
A man was eating bean cake that is not even of any significant quantity. He ate what he could and he had very little left, maybe about 5 or 6 cells on the thing. And I saw a horde of young Nigerian children in the other Majiri or beggars, whatever they swam on it like bees.
Oh my God.
When I got
on the plate.
When I got home and I looked at that video again, I became very angry with the North and Northern leaders. Because inside my heart, I know that this was what I was telling them was coming to happen. No person that understands the issues of the North will be happy that this is the North. Because for me, I don't see North, I don't see South, I don't see East, I don't see West. I see that some people, by accident or fate or whatever they call it, have given us the biggest country in Africa. And it is that biggest country in Africa that I want to see stand firm. And in making it stand firm, it cannot be that I am happy that, oh, my Yoruba people are eating, they are fat, they are doing well, they are getting back, and I'm looking at all my northern brothers, they are struggling, they are this, they are having issues, and then you are making it worse by making sure that the relationship that exists between them and our neighbors, who are, but for language, who are us.
You think Tinubu is the Messiah? He must have seen this video, or just allowed him.
No. What will he do?
Okay. What can he do then?
If you want me to offer some thought processes on what can be done, you know, I feel that can happen. We can start to bring that onto the table seriously.
Maybe after the tribunal?
Why? Because ab initio, what I feel like doing in the North now, assuming I can go to the North, because I was on radio, I did everything in Kano, I want to do like this. I told you so. Not because I want to mock them, but because I really did one.
Are you now saying it is the North that actually caused what is happening now, or northern leaders?
What I am saying is that the negotiation for power in a democracy is number-based. It's number-based.
And the North has the number.
If it is number-based, the strategic objective of a place that looks like that must be to have very clear understanding as to what the policies will be. If I were him, assuming I was the one that was president in 2023, assuming I was the president, what I would have done is, instead of all this jazz that I see them doing, I would have, the constitution I should give 1%, I would have given them. Then I would have created a super minister for each of the zone. So what I would have done is I would have taken one somebody like Nasser El-Rufai, I would have given him the burden of...
But he's already abroad.
I know, I'm just saying. It's late now, I'm just using him.
Exactly.
We can find thousands of his lives. I would have said, you are going to be a minister in charge of the Northwest zone. I want solutions to these ugly things I'm seeing.
So you can now say maybe like Northwest Affairs.
No,
Minister of
I will
Northwest
not
Affairs.
say, I'll call it whatever name I want to call it. You are the ones in charge of the Southeast. So I'll give those 6 ministers to make up those zones, and their own responsibility will not be to come and sit down in cabinet, be chasing what is not lost, but to keep coming back to me in the presidency in a special program that can radically change those areas. Because the intervention you need to take care of poverty in the north is not necessarily the intervention you need to take care of poverty in the southwest.
They need different approach.
It has to
we've
be
been duplicating things like this. Look at the NDDC.
Forget
we
that.
have the Northeast Development Commission
I'm not talking about all
Agencies.
that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the bureaucracy that you create.
Okay.
I'm talking about mini presidents in the zone because of the emergency. I will not expect somebody from the northwest now to come and start telling me that the priority for them is all this small medium scale industry. When you look at the numbers, how many of them are able to cope? Or you come and start telling me, oh, the priority for us is to do tech economy. Well, where are the tech economic experts among this mass of our people that can't eat? I expect the person to come and tell me, this is the pathway to get them out of poverty. This is how I'm going to do the silos of employment. This is how I'm taking them to the farm. This is the kinds of thing. Nobody, you see, my brother, I'm only guilty of loving the country. If I have any guilt in my life,
you'll be exonerated.
I know, I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
The only thing that is with me is that I believe in us so much. I believe in our capacity. Do you know what in Nigeria
and that's why you wanted Atiku.
No, because
what is your hope now in what is happening at the Election Petition Tribunal?
Well, even the Atiku, I used to tell him often. I remember in 2019 when he was coming or we were doing that campaign, I used to tell him that. I went to him one day, I said, Waziri, he said, yes, Segun, what is it? I said, do you know the implication of another president being installed by the popular hope of our people and him failing? He was holding his pen, he dropped it.
To hear more from you.
What am I talking about? I said, because once we go into a populist president comes in and he fails, we would have dashed the hope of our people to believe in anybody that can also...
And is that where we are now?
Well, you see, I mean, come on, I'm not going to say, let us make Nigeria, then I'll tolerate you coming to kill my own father, Bola Tinubu. That's not the point. The point is that, the point I'm making is that I expect him to give it his best. I expect him to be the leader of Nigeria. And I expect him to domesticate policies of poverty eradication in such a way that every section is growing according to their needs.
And it appears that you have given up
on the case.
From what you are saying, in what is happening in
No. You see,
okay. Are you still hopeful?
Let me say it this way. Okay. Nations never... You don't have a situation in a nation where nobody is with the power part time.
Okay.
Part time, even if there is a coup, then somebody is in the power, you know. If there is somebody has to, for now, the reign of the levers of state is in his hand.
And you admit this?
Even if I don't admit it, that's the fact. When we get to the tribunal, we are done with the case.
Yeah, it's just the judgment.
We're waiting for the judgment. And on all our behalves. On all our behalves, and with every sense of sanity, we must not give the impression that the only time that the judiciary is right is when it favors us.
Okay.
Because it's going to favor one of us. I pray it favors us. I'm PDP, I've never left, I told you that.
Yeah.
But I must also conceive in my mind that maybe just for theoretical sake, it can favor P2B. Just for theoretical, because it's in court.
Okay, yeah.
And I must conceive in my mind theoretically that it can favor the status quo. We must not bring ourselves to a point where we take our eyes off the important issue. And for me, the important issue is the general welfare
of Nigeria,
the peace, the prosperity, and the happiness of all Nigerians.
I have a feeling that Atiku is also giving up, No. The way he's, approaching the matter on Twitter, that is X now, on Facebook, the comments. Look at the last one, talking about Tinubu's primary school certificate secondary school certificate not there, and then going to Chicago. And is it not forum shopping of sorts?
No, no, no. You see, first of all, it's like saying that you are so naive to think that every tweet that comes from the office of President Tinubu is written by him.
Okay, of course not. Of course not.
So it's naive to think that way.
Okay.
The handle we will own it, and slips will happen sometimes.
So you think the handler did not package that
No. It's not about packaging it well. I'm just saying that the language of Atiku, gosh, do you know that guy at all? His language is always very presidential.
Okay.
And he's not the type of person who Atiku, you know, let me share this with you so you know something about him.
Even though I want to go to Ogun.
No, we're going to go to Ogun. Let me share
but
this.
The time is around. We have 5 minutes.
I'll share this quickly.
Okay, fine. Go
After
ahead.
we lost.
Okay, fine.
I was so sad. Not so much because we lost, because, you know, I was sad because I just pitied the years. And then when I went to meet him, I went to see him after some months. They called prayer and he wanted to go and pray. So when he came back, I asked him, do you think that this idea that they haven't told us about God, do you think it's real? Why are we even, the guy is looking at us like, you know what he told me?
No.
He said, Segun, number one, if you don't go to God, who are we going to go to? Think about it. Someone that has just lost. Then the second thing he told me, he said, you know, after we said, Segun, you know that I don't even know why, but I still have great hope that this country is going to be great.
Wow.
That's the kind of man he is. Now, let us do it.
All right, yes. The governor is fighting with one of the local government chairmen there. The chairman, he claimed since 2019, not a penny went to the local government areas. And this man is from APC as the governor. Where is the problem?
Okay.
Or you planted the local government chairman?
No. First of all,
yes,
I do not agree that for someone who takes the oath of secrecy, it was oath of Nigeria, oath of secrecy, oath of federal, whatever the oath is swear, I do not accept that official matters should be brought into the market in that manner. So let nobody even be thinking that I feel that it's the right thing to. There are channels to do this thing.
Okay.
The part that I don't accept, when I've written a letter to General, I've written a release to President Bola Tinubu today on this matter, where I said, dear President Bola Tinubu, invite the governor of Ogun, and tell him to be doing frog jump. What was I trying to tell him?
To punish him?
No, not just punish, frog jump. What was I trying to tell him? I saw a video where all the local government people there started lying on the ground to be prostrating, saying, oh, we've come to beg you as an elder, blah, blah, blah. That's not my problem because they prostrate.
They do that.
It's the video, I can send it to you. That's not my problem. My problem was that it was something like this.
Like an emperor.
Like an emperor, one. Number two, how did it get recorded? Number three, who authorized the release? Number four, did they not even look that his man was annoyed? And it could have been, because maybe the facts may reveal that the chairman is not right, you know? And maybe he would have been feeling frustrated. I've never touched your money. Why would you do this? He may feel that way. But you can't demonstrate a full tier of government that all of us are still saying, give them more power, give them money, and then he started doing that. So I now said, President Bola, over and above investigate, tell him to come to Aso Rock and come and frog jump. So they will learn that separation of the tiers represent independence of some sort, and they will get the message. Because if you feel that way about local government chairman because you are in charge, then the president has a right to feel that way about governors because he's in charge. I was just trying to send a subtle message to get them that this kind of behavior is not acceptable.
Finally, some believe that your problem with Ladi, and other contenders for the governorship under PDP cost all of you what is happening.
No, they will not do as honorable an action as I did. They wanted to start the process. They started saying they bought in form.
Yeah.
I wrote a letter to the National. I wrote to everybody that, this can't be right. They didn't do anything. So I took them to court. I was in court diligently.
Of course, up to appeal court also.
Oh, yes. We're even in the Supreme Court. But
right now.
Yeah, we've been there. But because they did not list the case on time, and they didn't call it, about a week or so, or thereabout to the election, I was doing a media outing on behalf of the state and the PDP. The presidential was gone. And my brother phoned me on live radio. Yeah, he phoned and said, my brother, let us do it together. And I just felt, okay, am I supposed to tell them to go and do anti-party? Am I supposed to tell our people not to struggle for it? They won't do that. I simply said, okay, now that you've said like this, it's okay, everybody go and do PDP.
You
and
said
I worked, yes. It's not,
and you worked for him?
No. I worked so damn hard that it was in my federal constituency where I am that they got the largest margin of victory. Just to show that sometimes if it doesn't favor you,
it's not a do or die.
No. You can endure for the sake of the party. I wanted to use that action to teach leaders across the board that life can happen. You can get the short stick, but don't let us always be thinking we have to throw the baby and the bathwater.
Thank you very much. I wish I had
my son
more
and Ladi were good.
Thank you very much.
And we are hopeful because we won that election.
All right, thank you very much. I like your approach of patriotism and, trueness of Nigeria. Thank you for coming to the program. We also been with Showunmi, former governorship aspirant under the platform of PDP in Ogun State, and former spokesperson for PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. Well, thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and viewers, that's a wrap on today's package. We sincerely hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. And be sure to join Daily Politics Live, airing every weekday, and also our special package on Friday, during which we open our telephone line for you to comment on national issues. Once again, we thank you for watching. Bye-bye. I'm Hamza Idris.